All right, everybody, this is our football regional playoff pick version of The Buzz, bringing the buzz back here at StateChampsNetwork.com. Tom Markowski, Lauren Plant here on set here in beautiful Southfield, Michigan. And we are getting set for the regionals this weekend. And if you're checking this out now and want to get an idea of who has a really good shot at winning and who will be advancing to the state semifinals, we're talking about it here. We're flying through the last three divisions, Division 6, 7, and 8, 1 through 5. Those videos are up. You can check those out. We talked about each one individually, a lot more in detail, especially for 1, 2, and 3. But let's get to 6, 7, and 8. Let's run through it real quick. Leroy Pine River at Boyne City.
Boyne City's 11-0. They played a pretty good schedule, beating teams like Traverse City, St. Francis, and other top teams up that way. I just think Boyne City's going to win this game. Just looking at the comparative scores throughout the season, obviously we don't get a chance to see much of these teams, but I got to look for Boyne City, and they would play Ithaca next, if I am correct.
Right. Does Drake Wilkins, Madison Heights, Madison Eagles have any chance at Ithaca?
Yeah, why not? You know, I'll
the
say
streak's got to end someday.
I would say before last week, I would say there's probably no way. But now that I saw that Madison beat Beecher like they did last week, and Beecher's pretty good.
They're tough.
Yeah, and so I think Madison has a shot if things go their way. Hey, you don't know what's the weather going to be like up in Ithaca. Are they going to have some snow on the ground? Is the wind going to be blowing?
The question's always going to be, if their back gets up on the wall, being Ithaca, and it's, say, late in the game, and say they're down 7 or something like that, obviously Travis Smith is not the quarterback there anymore, who was the last few years. His brother's doing it. He's been doing an amazing bang-up job. Some say he's even more polished than his brother. I'm sure those two would have an interesting debate regarding that subject. But the bottom line is, how will the team react should they face adversity late in the game? And Drake Wilkins' team could be that one squad that all of a sudden finds himself really in the mix late.
Yeah, they have a nice player in Jawan Johnson, whose brother played at Ford Field when Madison made their only appearance there. He's the kind of a kid that can do a lot of things, play defensive back and return kicks and things of that nature. And I think you also have to look at Madison, too, at the other side of the coin. What if they get down by 14 playing on the road in a place like Ithaca?
I think that's when it just becomes a blowout.
Yeah, because you know they're not going to bring that many fans up there with them. And Ithaca, the whole town, and plus the town that's next to them, wherever that is, will be there. So
and it's beautiful, the stadium
really
and
nice.
set up.
I had a chance to drive by. I did not get a chance to walk.
It's really, really, really nice. And again, I think if they get up and they're up a couple of scores, even if we're as early as mid-second quarter, I think they just start pouring it on, because that's what they do. They close out tremendously. So we'll see how they get. You got Ithaca by 14. That's probably, I would say, what a lot of people are going to feel. I think it might be a little bit closer. I say they win. I'm going to say it's going to get close to 7. I'm going to say even that Ithaca might have to rally to win. But I think that they're good enough that I think they will. But we'll see. We'll see. Watervillette at Grand Rapids North Point Christian. We've had North Point on the show a few times this year.
I looked at their schedule. This is not a very old school. They're like 10 years, 8 years the program has been in existence. But they play in the OK Conference in one of the many divisions there. And you look at their schedule, they play some decent teams. And they're pretty impressive. I would be shocked if they lost this game to Waterville. I think I wrote that you would like to pick an upset here. Waterville has actually been in the playoffs many times before.
That's just an email. It's okay.
But I don't think they can handle those.
People reacting.
I think that what you look at.
Petoskey emailing us. No, I'm kidding.
North Point Christian is one of those schools, I think, in that area that's up and coming. I think you'll see them grow and grow as being a power. They might have to move them in a different division.
And Christian beat Ravenna 37-0 last week there.
And Ravenna's always a good team.
So I agree with you there. Monroe St. Mary Catholic Central, they're taking their tight T offense to Jackson Lumen Christi to face a very, very good quarterback in Kari Willis.
I got to like this game. I think it might be one of the best. It's funny because it's played on a Saturday night, 7 o'clock. It's one of the latest game. I think there's another one in D8 maybe on Saturday night. But I would love to see this game, but I have prior commitments and I can't get there. But I think this will be very tightly contested. I'm going to go with Jackson Lumen Christi in this one.
You have them by 4.
I can see that being tight.
They're undefeated, and again, I agree. I think Willis is going to be the difference. I think they'll have a hard time stopping St. Mary's troubling Obviously, it'll be cold, and who knows if there'll be more snow on the ground.
Teams are going to be wanting to run the ball.
But I think, I agree with you. I think Lumen Christi. I feel that Lumen Christi is destined to play Ithaca in the finals, and if we get that, that's worth the price of admission.
That'll
right
be
there.
like a Sexton South Christian type game.
That's
where
right.
I think, before the playoffs started, you looked at the one bracket and say, okay, Ithaca.
Yeah.
Look at the other bracket and say Lumen Christi.
Right, and I think because Lumen Christi, if I remember correctly, lost in the first round last year.
Yes, the Parchment.
Right off the bat, and we had such high
one-
hopes for that team, just in terms of talent.
That one still sticks.
Yeah, so I think right now they know that every single game matters, and they're going to bring it for everyone. Let's go to
It's a little like Sexton, too, by losing to Marine City. It gives
That's right.
them that impetus for the next season.
Let's go to Division 7. I think we all think that you talk about a collision course coming up. Is it going to be Ishpeming and Detroit Loyola in the end?
Yes, and they got, you would think with New Lothrop playing Loyola.
Yeah, two 11-0 teams.
Two 11-0 teams. You would think they would give them a game, and I hope it's a close game. I don't think it's going to be that close. For one thing, they have to play in the city, which is always tough for a team. I think, conversely, if Loyola had to go up to New Lothrop to play, that would be more of a challenge for them. So I think I got them by 18, and
Yep, you do.
we'll see.
Saginaw, Michigan Lutheran Seminary at Elkton, Pigeon Bay, Port Laker. That's a mouthful, but that is the regional final.
Yeah, I had fun with this one. You can read my comments online. But Seminary's only loss was to Ithaca, and I stated that over, that they had Ithaca
At Ithaca.
At Ithaca, they were leading at halftime. I think this is another team that people, because they're playing in a division below Ithaca, and they're, obviously playing teams that are in less enrollment than Ithaca now in the playoffs. I think they're a team that can make some noise. I'd be surprised if they lost this game, and so I like them in this.
Yeah, this team of future preachers are some tough guys, right? Just kind of go to the Tom Mack model of little seminary school there, except they didn't have football when Tom was coming up. So I agree with you. I think Seminary wins this game as well. Bridgman at Pewamu, Westphalia.
Got to go with BW in this one. They've had the playoff experience before. Again, they come out of that CAC conference in the Lansing area. I just looking comparative schedule-wise, I don't see these teams. Bridgman coming from the southwest part of the state. I got to go with PW in this one.
They have moved this one indoors because of the amount of snow the UP is getting, but Traverse City St. Francis is playing Ishpeming on the road, and that's going to be inside the dome.
That's a Friday night game?
Yes.
Well,
And they will have the highlights on State Champs, by the way.
St. Francis, they lost to Boyne City. I forgot who else they lost to. They play a really tough schedule. They obviously want to play one. Ishpeming.
They played, didn't they? I was going to say that was going to say they played Catholic Central, but that was West.
That was Thursday.
Yeah, it wasn't St. Francis.
Sometimes they'll come down and play Nouvelle, and sometimes you get an indication that Nouvelle was down this season, so that wouldn't be such a great indicator for them. That being said, how can you go against Ishpeming?
Yeah. I know. This is a team. And indoors, they play just as well. They've beaten Loyola the last 2 years
So
indoors.
I don't think it really matters if they play indoors. It's obviously for the fans and the players, they probably will like to play indoors, but I got to go with this.
You'd be hard-pressed if we're not going to see Ishpeming and Detroit Loyola do it again,
really
part 3.
Right.
It's like Ali Frazier, except it's all gone one way. Division 8, Baldwin at Beale City.
Baldwin really hasn't played anybody. Obviously, the Brandon Childress is a fine player.
Fine player.
Basketball
and football.
Who knows what he'll do in college as far as playing either sport or both sports. And obviously, he is the reason. He was out earlier, I think in the first round of the playoffs.
Yes.
There was his brother stepped in, freshman who did a bang-up job. So we have another Childress to look at the next few years to come. That being said, Beale City, been to the finals last year. They're always there. They play a tougher schedule than Baldwin. I don't really think it's going to be that close.
Mendon at Muskegon Catholic Central.
Again, I don't think it's going to be that close. I don't think this is a great Mendon team.
Right.
I think Muskegon Catholic would give Ithaca a great game in Division 6. So I got to go CC.
Harbor Beach is a team that's been to the state finals and won their first state championship a couple of years ago. Morenci comes in at 10-1.
They played a pretty good Lakes team last week, Harbor Beach, and they didn't have that much trouble. It was an 18-point game or something of that nature. So I got to go. It's
definitely a system team, and
they're the ones that like to hide the piggy too. So.
I think at home they win that one too pretty handily. And Munising at Crystal Falls Forest Park.
I was tempted to go with Munising, but I had to go with Crystal Falls in this one. Just really.
They've never played before.
That's so remarkable.
This is remarkable.
I mean,
2 Division VIII class teams in the UP have
right.
never played.
Well, Munising used to be a D7 team,
Okay.
so enrollment-wise they moved down. But still, you would think they would meet during the regular season someplace. But it's so there's not much you can gauge on in previous history, obviously, if they haven't played. I was tempted to go with the upset, but I'm going to go with Crystal Falls in this one. So we'd play Harbor Beach in the following.
That would be a good one. So Tom went 11-4 last week, so he had a good week. You've heard all the picks now. He's 70-50 on the road. That is above 500.
Yes.
Or overall, I mean, 70-50 overall. So anyway, that's our picks. We're happy to do it, and we'll do it again for the semifinals.
We'll do the semis next
yeah, and again, as we get back into basketball season and things of that nature, we'll bring back the buzz, and because it's something we like to do. We've just been really busy, so it's coming. Thank you for logging into StateChampsNetwork.com.